For the fans. For the players. For the big plays. Firebirds Weekly. This week's guest is Isaiah Hardy.
Welcome to Firebirds Weekly, the weekly podcast about your Albany Firebirds. We are at the Clock Tower Hotel in Latham tonight, in the beautiful facility here at the hotel, and we are also sponsored by Evergreen Now, the official streaming service of AF1. And tonight we have one of the leaders to the offensive line for the Firebirds, Isaiah Hardy. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. It's good to be here.
I'm glad you're on, man.
We're glad you're on too.
We're excited that you're the first member of the offensive line.
Oh,
So
it's an honor.
Yeah, I start with you first.
So yes, as two former offensive linemen,
Okay.
we had to have an offensive lineman at some point. And
Yeah.
you are our guy.
And I appreciate that. Let's shout out the other offensive line.
Oh, of course.
It's a
Josh
unit.
Zacher. We got Josh Zacher.
Yep.
He's our tight end.
Yep.
We got Kobe Bird.
Of course.
Me. And then you got Brandon Nicholson.
Yes, sir.
That make the Firebird line. Now I feel like we're going to be unstoppable.
It sure looked like it in the first 4 weeks, but we'll get to that. But we want to find out more about you. A New Jersey guy, so a Northeast guy. Talk about when football became a thing for you growing up.
Well, it's actually kind of funny that even my first 2 years, freshman, sophomore year of high school, I wasn't even into football per se. It was just something I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And once I went to my second high school, this is Timber Creek Regional, and my brother came back from college, he was just looking at me like, you got way too big to not do this and be serious about it.
Mm-hmm.
So my junior year, when I went to my second high school, is really when I was I can really do something with football, and I'm pretty.
Did your brother have similar size or different?
No, I'm the youngest and I'm the tallest of my brothers. My tallest brother would be probably my oldest brother. He's 5'11", 6 foot.
You have a big family?
I have 4 brothers, a sister.
So then, yes, you have a big family.
Yeah, I got a big family. It's nice growing up with siblings, though. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Absolutely. So you go to, like you said, Timber Creek High School, and talk about the last couple of years, really getting into the game, and really, obviously you've got massive size. It's 6'6", 350, something like that. It's ridiculous. But just talk about this kind of journey to your football journey after high school, and you go into Lackawanna in Pennsylvania. Talk about your journey, kind of making it through that part of your life in football.
I feel like the journey I took to get here is the perfect journey for a person like me, only because, like I said, I was late getting to the I can do this football thing. So I feel like if I would have went to West Virginia right away, it would have been I wouldn't have meshed well with the environment as far as
you wouldn't have been prepared for it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been prepared for it, and I probably would have dropped out or something because it wasn't something I could handle. But going to Lackawanna was it was just an eye opener to what you're going to see, because it was probably the hardest time for football in my life. But it was also the funnest time because the people that are around, and I'm actually learning football, and I'm noticing that everybody that's here that I'm playing is trying to get to the next level as well.
What made it difficult for you during those days? Made it the hardest part of your career?
I think what made it the hardest part of my career is I keep saying it, but I did just come to I want to play football and I can do something. But most of the people that I was going there with was already there.
Yeah,
they just needed the grades or they needed the looks or something. So it was just we're here. You got to learn fast.
Well, it's funny because, last week we talked to Derek Jones, and, he's a Mississippi guy, and they do football much differently down there than they do up here. And so it's they've been, Chris, last week, I think he said something they're not born with pacifiers in their mouth, they're born with mouthpieces, which I thought was funny. But again, we do things a little differently up here in the Northeast. So just to have that extra time to really get your things together in terms of the game, in terms of your life, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah, you gotta think about, you're definitely going against people from parts where football is just bred when you're born. Like
it's just a thing.
It's just a thing. You bleed football,
Mm-hmm.
so it's like you go against those guys too.
Yep.
So you got to be prepared for that. You got to get yourself prepared for that. So, but I think it was the transition between high school and high level football that made it the hardest time. And also it's JUCO. Like JUCO struggle was real. Like you're hungry, you're broke. You know, like your clothes are not getting washed because you know what I mean, this and that. So it's
so like the Last Chance U stuff. You know, the series that was on Netflix. I mean, it really is that kind of thing. Like it's not just for the series at this place or that place. Like it is that.
I don't think we could have been the Last Chance U, to be honest. We
didn't qualify for that.
I'm not saying we didn't qualify. I'm just saying it would have been some investigation.
All right, and let's switch situation. Let's switch it.
Not like that. Not like that.
But yeah, so talking about going from that and having a situation where you were like getting your football knowledge really at that point, what was the process like to then go to play Division I major Power 5 conference football, ending up at West Virginia?
It was a blessing to say the least, because of what the year and a half I did in 2 seasons I did at Lackawanna. It really did help me appreciate everything at the next level as far as things that people didn't necessarily appreciate or complained about. Things like that. Like I came from a place where we didn't have
anything.
That.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, like people were complaining about, like the food's not here, or the food's not cooked the way I wanted it to be cooked, or we didn't
fed,
have. You know what I mean? I'm just glad we're being fed. So it's just
right.
Like it really, and I'm glad I went through that because I feel like that's like life now. As far as like I'm more appreciative of things because you don't get the things right away that you want. You got to work for it. So, I mean, not saying that people don't appreciate.
No, I understand. It's just a whole nother mindset. It's a whole nother opportunity that you didn't see, that these guys don't understand that this isn't guaranteed.
Right.
Yeah. For some of these guys, it's like, like that's just been their world. Mm-hmm. And for you coming in, you're like, I'm going to appreciate this world because I don't know when I'm not, maybe I won't be in it much long. You know what I mean? Like the football thing, who knows? Exactly. But then, obviously at West Virginia, 512.3 yards of total offense. Looked at some of those numbers. Number 8 nationally. So you're, right up there with the Alabamas and the Floridas and, you name it.
We had a great, exciting team that, like, until this day, that Texas game my senior year will probably be the greatest game I play. We won last second. It was a crowd full of people. It's just, was
that in Texas or Morgantown?
In Texas.
Okay.
Yeah, we went their house. Horns down for the rest of my life.
Who was their quarterback at that time for that game?
Their quarterback?
Yeah. Put you on the spot because I don't remember.
I don't know either. Who was your quarterback?
Will Greer.
There we go. Dallas Cowboy backup quarterback, Will Greer. Yes, excellent. Here we go.
All right, but we really don't. The Cowboy. Let me not say nothing to
that. Having that experience, tell me how that experience of playing there has helped you now in your football career. Now that you're a bit older and you're a bit wiser to how the game works, I guess.
That's a great question. I never even thought about how it translated to now. But I'll have to say, like, the experience that I had at West Virginia was just something that I can take with me forever.
Mm-hmm.
And I obviously learned a lot from Mike Joseph, our strength coach, from our head coach, from our all-line coach. It's just tips and tricks that they have, whether somebody else has it or not, that they gave me. Mm-hmm. And that's something that helps me every day or every time I step on the field or just in life in general. Mm-hmm. So West Virginia definitely helped me, and I do carry a lot.
So do you have any? I mean, you're not a lot of years removed, but is there any kind of like alumni sort of thing that West Virginia puts on for their guys?
Yeah, they send players like care packages sometimes, or they have alum. I did get an alumni thing in the mail for to go to West Virginia. I didn't go, but they do things like that.
And of course, we can't forget maybe one of the more famous ones, Pat McAfee, of course, is a West Virginia guy.
Yeah.
But so if anybody's going to be talking about it, that's the guy.
But Yeah, it was definitely a great time because it showed you it showed you a lot, and I've seen the worst, so was it the lowest of the low and the highest of the high. So I'm glad I got both of those experiences.
So when you went to West Virginia, was there a lot of other options for you to go, or was West Virginia just one of those things that just was like, yeah, I got to go here, or there was a lot of decision making in that process?
I wouldn't necessarily say it was a lot of decision making. I did have a couple of more options to go, but funny story. It was literally had the greatest time of my life on an official visit at West Virginia, right? And that night we go back to Coach Holgerson's house. And we have dinner and everything, wife cooks and everything, and then he's calling everybody into her office for me just to make we really want you or we don't or something like that. And when I get in his office, he's just like, where else do you want to go? Like, he's like looking at me like,
hey, you know,
like where else do you want to go?
Sometimes you know. Sometimes you just know.
Hey, that's brass tacks, man. Yeah. Like, it's either just tell me what you're thinking. And honestly, like if I was in that recruiting, or if I was in your position being recruited like that, that's like human stuff. Right. That's honesty. Like, what are you thinking? You know, like tell me what you think. Like, what's in your heart? That I'm assuming that's pretty much what the conversation was.
It was just how this is how you're treated. You know what I mean, I don't know about any other visits you went on or any other college. But when you come here, this is how you treat it. There's no smoke and mirrors. There's no you get this one time here, and then when you come here, it's awful. This is how you're treated. So like we're going to give you what we're going to give you. Period. And if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you can take your chance somewhere else.
Well, we want to talk about now kind of why we're here. Talking about your journey to Albany. First off, talk about your how you got into the indoor game, the arena game, and then you've been back and forth. You were here, and then you were in San Antonio, then you were back. Talk about your transition and then your kind of journey up to this year.
Well, my oldest brother Garrett, he did arena.
Okay.
And I really wasn't even after college. I wasn't even really aware of arena or anything like that. It was
not the sidetrack. What was your major in West Virginia?
My major, criminology.
Okay, so that was going to be the next thing. Was that?
Well, in the off season I do security. Okay, so that's why.
Gotcha.
You putting your degree to good use, of course. Yeah.
So that's what that was my major. Pretty fun sociology class, communication classes. Like it was pretty fun. But like I said, I wasn't even really aware of arena until my brother said something about it, and it was funny because when he said something to me about it, a week later, a coach hit me up. It was the one and done team. I don't know if you guys know the Brooklyn Street.
I am aware of that name.
You might be, but I am not.
It was an NAL team.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Street. So that was my first. I went. It was like I want to say like 5-6 weeks in the season where they called me in there, and that was my first little taste of arena. And from there, I went to Jacksonville. And Jacksonville was just like that was a good program. So it'd be like, oh, okay, so arena is pretty because the street was a
bad example of what it could be. Yeah, that way.
Yep. It was a horrible example of what arena could be. Like.
So you go to Jacksonville, and obviously that's a much better example.
Yeah, much better. They had a great program. They had great coaches. They were, you know what I mean. So that really was like, okay, I can probably do this. Like I like this. You can make a little. So it's not too. You can make a little money doing here,
and you can count on it. Like we're kicking off this day, and the season ends this day. I'm still going to be doing what I signed on to do, meaning we're still existing, we're still playing, et cetera, which was not the case with your first go-around.
Well, in my first year in Jacksonville was actually when I met Sam. Because we had a quarterback, Mike, but I met Sam when he got there. Me, like as soon as I met Sam, I already knew it was like, I love this guy. You know what I mean? So I feel like ever since Jacksonville, I've been with Sam. Like I got a block for my quarterback, right? You got a block for your quarterback. So it's just after Jacksonville, it was great. And then Coach Minaj, I got in touch with Coach Minaj and Coach Ware, and those it was just at the time it was just like. I don't see any other still now, but I don't see any other coach that I can really run through a wall for besides these two. I mean, because they're the way they talk and the way they just give you what they actually feel, how they actually mean is just we like those coaches.
Okay. And then, so you were here and then you went and then came back. Talk about coming back and being a part of this Firebirds group and what that means, to you being here for this year where you guys have started 4-0 and you just ran through Billings last night, cementing the top spot right now. Right. So talk about just coming back here to the Firebirds for this season.
Coming back here was just like, it was probably the easiest decision I've had making going to a team, only because, again, Sam, right? And then Coach Ware is like he's a great coach. Like he's a great head coach, and
he's a great man too. Let's just be honest.
All around great guy. You know what I mean? He's probably the only coach that will unapologetically let you be you. Like whatever your personality is, that's your personality. Just know when to tone it down,
right?
And whatever. But he is one person that will let you be you, no matter how you talk, no matter what you do. You know what I mean? It's just be a good Firebird. Don't have anything come back and tarnish this night. You know what I mean? So he's one of the guys that you would definitely run through a brick wall for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It don't matter what day it is. He's a good guy. So that's definitely a reason that I came back, because he definitely deserves a perfect season.
So we see. So we see, you talk about the relationship with Sam, and you said it's like 4 years or more at this point. Yeah. You see even in the NFL, like at all levels of football, where you have that tackle, that guy that protects protects his back as the quarterback, and you guys have that relationship. Talk about that kind of thing where it's like he knows what you're going to do, you know what he's going to do, and you guys have basically been together for the last half a decade.
Yeah, right. So it's a great feeling, like being comfortable with your quarterback and everything he does, because it's certain things during the play that you really can't explain. You know what I mean? So it will be like, if Sam's in the backfield doing whatever he's doing, making whatever moves you want to make, it can make blocking difficult.
Oh, for sure.
Of course.
He's going this way, that way, this way, that way. But I've learned, and I tell the offensive line since the start of camp, don't hold. Don't do anything illegal after, because if Sam is doing something, he's doing it for a reason. He knows what position he's putting himself in. Yeah. Right? So block to your best of your ability, and he's going to. Last year in San Antonio, I probably held 4 times, and I brought back 3 20-yard runs from Sam. You know what I mean? Like, right. It's great having a quarterback like that, and it's great playing with him for these years, because you just and you trust. So it makes blocking a whole lot easier.
What is something that makes this place, again, like you said, you were in a place that was not a good example, then you were in a place that was a good example, and now you're at a place which, obviously we're a bit biased, but I believe that this is 1-2 of the best setups that the league has and has been for years. The Firebirds have been around for 35 years. What makes Albany special for you?
Well, first it's just, if you want to talk about, like, as far as team bonding and just having the community within the team, this is when we do everything together. The only thing we don't do together is sleep together. That's it. You know what I mean? You need your space.
Yeah, right. In that area,
right.
That's a non-negotiable.
Yeah. No, 6'6", 350.
Yeah,
no. I need my space.
No, for sure. But it's just like, the program, like, it not necessarily forces, but it has us to the point where we have to build relationships. Whether it was somebody that you would have talked to on the team or not. Yeah, talking to them now. You know what I mean? Because we'll leave and go to events in the vans. Most programs don't have vans for their players to go wherever they want as a team when they need to. No program don't have that. We get fed. Believe it or not, that's a problem. Other places. Yeah. You know what I mean? We get fed.
Oh, of course. I mean, because I think sometimes, especially programs that are brand new or are just kind of maybe thrown together a little bit, like, oh, wait, we have to feed guys. You know what I mean? Like, they don't think of those little things.
Yeah, they forget how much it costs to run a football team.
Right. And obviously these guys
never knew having it.
Right. These guys having that knowledge are like, oh, of course we have to do that. And those little things that most people don't think about that affect you guys are like, okay, we're good. Like, we've got it.
Yeah.
And that's what they seem to do here.
Right. So and that's there's no problem for them. Like I believe every single one of our coaches will give us the shirt off their backs, and I believe that 100%. And also, it's like, it's just the community. What we have is a lot of players know each other, and if we didn't in camp, it felt like we knew each other. Like in camp, it felt like we were a returning team. You know what I mean? The way our scrimmages went, the way our practices went off rip, it was like we are a returning team. Everybody came back, and we just getting right back on the horse. I mean, it's just, and most of our players played with each other already, so you already built a relationship, and you're
right.
Are you one of those guys? And I'm not sure if there's many. Like, do you almost wish there was like a 2-year contract or a 1-year contract? So I mean, obviously, there's going to be flux one way or the other,
right?
But like, I wonder like how difficult now this year is different with you guys as you just described, but like it's got to be tough for coaches year to year too to try to kind of figure out if this group fits.
Yeah, like for what they want going forward is what you're saying. Like, yeah, I definitely get that. Because some coaches do have to make that necessary sacrifice after the season or even within the season to be like, yeah, I know this guy's been here for however long, but we have a better fit. Whatever, it might break up the team.
That's a tough thing, especially when you have so many people that you can sign.
Right.
It's a question of whether or not you should.
Yeah.
And I mean that's obviously above all of our pay grade, but right. I mean in Coach Ware we trust, but
no,
for sure. That's kind of how I see it.
Coach Ware is a coach that is going to make sure that his team is in the best position to win it all. Right. So I mean, he's a great scout. Like, he's a great recruit. So the guys he brings in, he doesn't have to necessarily cut and make changes and do this and do that because he's already scouted it and he's already. You know what I mean? Now, if they come here out of shape or something, that's a different story. But he's great with scouting. So I feel like when we win this championship, right? And everybody wants to come back, he is a type of coach that's like, you know what, the community and what we built here is a lot more important than somebody that can kind of make a difference. Because having that unity is what makes the difference in a football team. It's a team. You know what I mean?
How many of those guys have you played with before? So was Sam? And who else?
With Sam before. I played with Harold Love before.
That's right.
99.
Yep.
I played with Kobe Bird before our center in San Antonio. He was in San Antonio.
Yep.
It's a couple more people I played with before. Wade. I played with Wade.
Yeah, Markel,
Yep.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Albany, Empire.
In Empire,
Yeah.
I played with Wade.
Yep.
Off the top.
You don't have to struggle too bad with it. It's just a thought.
But just the idea that you've been through the wars with some of these guys.
Yeah, already.
And it's specific guys like your quarterback and, the guy who stands next to you on that offensive line where, I have someone who played it and someone who's coached it, at the high school level for a couple of years now. Even at that level, it's like when these kids have done it together, like growing up through, it's like they can tell each other what's going on. They have their own language to it. And I'm sure that may be the same way with you guys where it's like, hey, we've been together, I'll say this and that means this and that language up front.
Right, for sure. It's definitely we definitely have exactly that. Like we'll definitely explain it to like people that we haven't played before.
Of course, obviously.
Yeah. So, but he'll come to the line like and just say something like, let's say carrot. Like we know
whatever that means is like, oh yeah, okay, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about. He and Bird knows because he was there, but then we have to tell Zachary, we'll tell Brandon, we all get filled in, and you know what I mean. But it's definitely he definitely has that type of like motor to where it's just like, yeah, let's just go. His muscle memory and he just forgets.
So I have a question. It's kind of a silly one.
I'm gonna have a silly answer.
Well,
no.
Why'd you have to toss that dude from Southwest Kansas on an extra point? You ragdoll his ass.
Well, see, I'm an emotional player, right? And so
we need that.
So
it was clean. I don't say that
it was good. Yeah,
he before the game he was talking a lot. He was doing a lot of
extra stuff. Yeah,
and I just don't like when my brothers are getting assaulted for no reason.
At least there's a story because I take a bunch of videos and some of them are great, some of them aren't. But I'm like, that's a play. Like I need to make sure that that's seen.
Yeah, was that the one? Oh, that's the one that said Isaiah 1, Southwest Kansas 0. Yeah. And I'm like, yes, that's completely true. And that actually, I have a question for that kind of goes off of that. Actually, what is it like to play in the MVP arena? I mean, you've been around teams that have good fan bases, not so good fan bases. What does the fan base here mean for you, being putting on that orange jersey?
I can say this. I know I played here in 22.
Right.
Yep.
And this year, first home game, I met 5 fans that still remembered me from being here in 22.
Sure.
So, I don't know where else I would get that. You know what I mean? I don't know where else people are like that.
They pay attention here, big time.
Yeah, like when they announced when they announced that I was coming back, it was like 3 posts like, "Oh, Isaiah Hardy's returning back." I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." Like, and they're just fans.
So that was a little bit later than. So was I don't want to say you're holding out. I don't mean it that way.
Yeah, no.
But you kind of, in terms of the sequence of guys coming in, you're towards the end. Was there a reason for that?
It was just trying to figure out like how to manage the other leagues and everything that everybody was hitting me up before. So it wasn't that. I was always coming to Albany, so it didn't really matter.
No, I was very happy to see that because you're one of the guys that really stood out from 22, and playing with Sam certainly that'll take you a long way too from experience level. So
I want to talk about also we usually try to ask every guy this, so I want to make sure that we get every guy to ask about it. The flock is something here that isn't in other cities in this game. What does that group mean to you as a guy who's like you're living basically in a hotel for 3 months? You know what I mean? Like, what is that group and what they provide and help with mean to you as a player?
Oh my! I don't even know how to like. It's one of those things that I don't feel like you will get anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that's one of the things that I can definitely say I've never experienced as far as being in any other arena setting. Like you being taken care of to the max is really how I can. It's personalized, is like personally given. It's all intimate, like, you know what I mean, transaction. That's another reason why the fan base and everything is so great here, because they really care and they really take care of you, no matter like what you ask for, what you need. They're going to try to accommodate for sure.
Awesome. Well, we're going to put this to bed right now, and we want to thank you, Isaiah, for coming on the podcast. And we're lucky to have you here as a member of the Firebirds, and we look forward to talking to you as the season progresses. So thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.